What do you mean?
In the video, when the gunshot, it shows that the person stayed for a little bit, like for a few seconds,
How do you know that?
because he showed me the video.
Okay. How do you know when the gunshot occurs in the video?
Because he showed me where the flash was.
Okay.
Was I not supposed to have seen that?
Well, it doesn't show a flash.
In the early hours of a chilly Washington morning, the police receive a phone call reporting a shooting in which a suspect fled on foot. The police arrived with a canine unit as a locating tool, but no tracks could be found by the cute pupper. That's odd, remarked one detective. Canine Unit Ryder has the strongest criminal sniffing nose this side of the Mississippi. The victim of the shooting, Christopher Flo, was a corrections officer who is currently being investigated for a possible inappropriate relationship with an inmate. A woman had complained to the police that Christopher had kissed her and made her set up a Snapchat account so that he could send her nude photos. Was this shooting possibly related? The detectives wondered. Christopher told the police that he'd been shot in the back by a male in dark clothing. This man was apparently waiting for Christopher to return home from work, as he shot Christopher as soon as Chris got out of his car. The man then walked away. The odd thing was that upon checking the cameras in the area, the detectives never saw a man leaving or approaching Christopher's driveway. How odd, said Detective DeRoche in deep contemplation. Detective Lawson pondered. The detectives worked tirelessly for an entire week. Then, Detective Lawson spoke. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but what if Christopher shot himself? Detective DeRoche furrowed his brow. Detective Lawson? That's just about the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Then a smile glimmered on his face. It's so stupid that it just might work. And so the two detectives had agreed on a hypothesis. They brought Christopher Flo into the police station for an interview.
But not before taking some time to relax by playing Cash Frenzy, the hot new free-to-play mobile slots app that will always keep you busy because it goes on forever. It doesn't run out. You got 100 different slots in there, and new slots are being updated every week. Plus, you have in-game bonuses, events, in-game rewards that'll just keep you busy all day long. Me, personally, I'm basically playing this game called Cheshire Cats. You spin it and you get these cats that pop up. I don't really know how it works. All I know is my coins keep going up. Anyway, there's a download link below. There's a QR code on your screen. You scan that, you'll get 3 million free coins that you can spend on this stuff. Right now, there's an Independence Day event to celebrate America's birthday. Freedom Cruise. Freedom Cruise is the current ongoing event, and I encourage you to sign up and join Freedom Cruise because, you know, if you join Freedom Cruise, you can get up to $200 of in-game rewards in celebration of America's birthday. You don't like slots? Fine. There are cool mini games. You ever play Chutes and Ladders when you were a kid? Well, check this out. There's a game called Chutes and Rockets, and it's like very carefully named, but it's the same game basically. However, there's an added bonus in which you get coins. It's amazing. You should try it out. Again, download link below, QR code on the screen. You sign up, you get 3 million coins. You got all the slots there. It's just like your brain's all, you're getting the dopamine. It's great. Just go for it. Now back to Christopher Flo, who may or may not have shot himself. I'm not going to give you the spoiler alert, but it is surprising.
Have you had any of the people on your caseload make any threats or anything?
I don't recall anyone on my caseload threatening me.
Okay.
I've been threatened, but not by my caseload.
Who have you been threatened by?
A situation happened a while ago, and there's emails about it. There's an officer in here that she has a different way of running her caseload, but her family's well known in this area. And her brother has been on supervision before. We've had issues with him at the office. He's been asked to leave. He's been escorted because he comes in and makes scenes. He runs and partially owns a halfway house, one of our homes. And so it's a conflict. And then something happened with, because another officer has that house, and there was something going on there, violation with one of the vendors. And so a couple of guys from the house came to the office, and the officer was talking to them, and it got heated and they left. But then at a different point, one of them came back, and then the guy that owns the house, the manager, he came, and he thought I was the one that was disrespecting the offenders. And so he got in my face, and so cussing me, like calling me a bitch, and I'm not shit without my badge, like all that.
But he's not an offender.
No.
He runs the house.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
It's Chris. What is her last name? I want to say Christopherson, but that's not right. That's best actor. Country singer. Bambi Stewart. It's her brother.
Okay.
And so some things happened there. He had to be told to leave several times. Like he came at me in an aggressive manner, walking at me several times. There were other officers. That went away. He left and stuff. Bambi wasn't even working, and her brother called him, or her brother called her, so she called the boss, and people were calling, and people got involved. And so it turned out that my boss and the other office lead, not my lead, not the one that was actually there at the situation, they went out and talked to him and smoothed everything over. And us in the office were like, wait, how can that be an approved address when he's acting like this? I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened. So I wrote my boss an email about concerns about safety and security, and he kind of said, oh, and I CC'd his boss on it, and his big boss said, take this up with your supervisor. And I said, because I mentioned a safety plan, because there's supposed to be certain steps when that happens. So they tote when doing our training and all that and our policies. And yeah, nothing happened.
When did this occur?
Oh shit. A year ago? But I kept all the emails and nothing was ever done about it.
Did you take it up higher up the chain of command?
No. Because I wasn't actually scared, like thinking that like, ooh, he might come get me.
Right.
But it was just as a management, this should be addressed, and it shouldn't just be kind of swept under the rug. So that was kind of silly, I thought.
So what's your relationship like with your coworkers?
Good. Yeah, there's really good with Alan, Officer Colombo, great guy. He was the first one to message me. Officer Walter, he's next office. He was with me at the hospital all the time. He's awesome. Hang out with him outside of work. Next one's Bambi. Don't talk to her much. We're not friends. We're not enemies. We're not.
Right.
We talk, and when things are going on in each other's lives, we ask each other how we're doing, that kind of thing. There's Kathy. She's a hearings. She's cool. She's out there. She's a hippie, kind of conspiracy theory, hippie-ish. She's a fun old lady. And there's Donovan. He's the other lead in the office. He's great. There's Laura. She's my lead. Hang out with her. Next office over, the FOSA and the GRE people. They're both great. They were both officers in our office before they went to the different unit. They're still there though. And Daniel, he's good. Charlie, he's good. I just went up and watched him in a MMA fight up in Seattle. Yeah, my office is good.
Okay.
And we had one guy in the office that caused some issue, but it wasn't like on any kind of managerial level at all. It just, he was a lot more left than the rest of the office.
Okay.
But he transferred out once he realized that it wasn't a good fit for him. But no, we haven't had. You hear about different offices and they're getting yelling matches with some of the officers and their supervisors and stuff, and no, it's.
Do you have? I mean, you get along with all your coworkers. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Are you having any problems with management? Anything?
No, I don't. I don't personally care for Kurt Smith. He's my boss's boss. He's the one that notified me that I'm on under the investigation, and I just don't like him. He's just a very slick willy kind of person. But we've never had confrontations or words of any sort.
What investigation are you referring to?
I found out just a few weeks ago I'm under a PREA investigation. And I did not know anything about it. I know when Lawson asked me, he said that was one of the first things I said to him. And so he was wondering about that, about my investigation. I said, well, yeah. And why I brought it up instantly with him was Detective Rhodes, he came in the first time and he was talking to me about everything. And I told him I was under investigation. And then the second time he came back and he can't remember exactly his word, but he said something about like my story wasn't adding up.
So this is Detective Rhodes here. You're talking about somebody else?
Oh shit, that's you.
Yeah, as I said, I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. I'm obviously got the Shelton guy, the Hispanic.
DeRoche?
Him. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You're probably what the hell am I talking about?
I'm sure you haven't doctor.
I was gonna say,
I think
I know it's been a busy couple of weeks.
I said your name before too.
That's all right.
Okay, that's what I meant. And he had said something about like something wasn't adding up or something, and he said, "Tell me about this investigation. Why don't you tell me it's a pre-investigation?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, because I don't know anything about it. Because when investigations happen, I didn't know anything about it until I met with Detective Lawson this last time,
Okay.
and who had made the allegations or what anything was even about.
So what do you know about it?
The only thing he told me was that she made allegations that we were sleeping together, like at that shitty motel out in Hoodsport.
Okay. Who is she?
Courtney Besh.
Okay. Is Courtney somebody that you supervise?
No.
Okay.
I did not supervise her. She hasn't done supervision for a while.
Okay. So how do you know Courtney, or do you know Courtney?
Through supervision.
Okay, so you know her through supervision, but you didn't supervise her.
Mhm.
Who did?
A number of people, because it goes kind of on catchment where they live.
Okay.
If they move around a lot.
Okay. Alright. I don't work for DSC. I don't give a shit about it. They're going to do their investigation. But it's important for me to know, is there anything have you and Courtney ever had any kind of a relationship?
Yes, lines were crossed.
Okay.
I saw her twice out of work, and first time was I didn't know she worked there. I pulled up.
Where?
Is that the one right over here by the chiropractor office?
In the Fred Meyer?
Oh, no. Okay. I was thinking there used to be one right over here by City.
Yeah, by
No.
Blackness's place?
Yeah, no, it's in that little, right by the Fred Meyer over there, and like where GameStop is.
Okay.
Okay.
Talked to her and like I just got in a beautiful Dodge jacked up truck. It was awesome. She's like, oh yeah, and she did the bubbly, ran up and gave me a hug. It was like, okay.
You knew who she was?
I knew who she was.
Okay.
Said hi in the office, polite. She jumped from the side of my truck and looked at it. I wasn't in my truck when she did that. I was in front of it. Left, never went back. I still have tans there. I saw her the next week at Safeway, where she was working too, ironically, and got a sandwich, and I have not been back. We did message a few times. She sent me a picture of her butt in underwear and a cleavage picture. And that was all that ever happened.
How long ago was that?
Years, 2.5 years.
So 2.5 years ago, this issue, and then around the same time, was it something?
Like a week later.
And she sent you pics?
Mm-hmm.
How did she have your phone number?
It was Snapchat. She added me on Snapchat.
Okay. All right. Did you send her any dick pics or anything?
No, I never sent her any dick pics.
Okay.
It wasn't unsolicited buckshot. It was flirtation.
Okay.
And so, like I said, it was definitely, I crossed lines. But, never,
Was there ever any physical contact between the two of you?
besides that time she ran up and gave me a hug, no,
Okay.
never,
No kissing, no hugging other than that one time.
never,
No fucking,
nope.
nothing. Okay. All right. So what would... You were not her supervisor. Was she on active supervision at this time?
I think she was.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out...
I'm sure she was, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell could make it a PREA complaint.
Because she was on supervision and I'm a point of authority.
Okay. All right.
But she's stating that, and it's frustrating because this isn't the first time this has come up. It came up a long time ago, because it stopped because it was like there's nothing there. There's not a future. There's not. This is just fucking out of hand, and it's over the line. Done. When Officer Walters' offenders came in and told him that she had heard Courtney Besh when she was in jail telling people that her and I were in a committed relationship. And so, I forget what her name is. One of the officers he asked Drew. And, but she had made the comment like, the bitch is crazy or something like that. Like just spouting off, and no one believed her type thing. And so it was actually an ongoing joke in the office for a while. And anytime anyone mentioned something, I was like, uh-oh, Chris, are you dating Courtney again? And like, so I have no idea why this would come up now.
Okay.
And where this even came from. But yeah, I had no idea what it was about besides the fact that I was under investigation
Okay.
up until...
So when they notify you you're under investigation, they don't give you any details as far as what's...
At least what the allegation is that you're on investigation for.
I got an email from Kurt Smith saying I need to have a meeting with you tomorrow at this time. And I said, okay, is this disciplinary? If so, I will have union representation because we went through this before. He told me it wasn't, and it was. And he said, no, just discussion. Okay, so it was over Teams, over on phone. And he calls me, and the guy this goes to show he's a prick. He sends me the appointment on my Outlook, and it's for 11:30. He calls me at 11:10, asks me where I am, why I'm late, and that is disrespectful to be late to a meeting. And I said, well, if you look at your Outlook, it says 11:30. Oh. I said, well, check your email. And he sent me an email with a letter stating that I'm under investigation. It's like, this is to inform me that a pre-investigation has been initiated. Do not talk to anybody about this except for my HR representative, my union representative, or Kurt Smith, and that I will be having so and so be getting in contact with me to do the investigation.
Just so, do you know who the complainant is?
No.
So how do you know what you're not supposed to talk about?
Exactly. And he told me that on the phone. He's like, and if you talk about this thing, don't talk about this to anybody else. It's highly confidential. And if you do, that's going to be a whole other set of problems for you.
But I'm not going to tell you what you're not supposed to talk about.
Listen, you're telling me that I'm under investigation, and if I talk about this to anybody, that there's going to be legal problems? It's like, first of all, what am I going to talk about? I can't tell anybody that I'm under investigation because that's all the information I know. But yeah. So.
Okay. Any other complaints or any other issues going on at work?
No. I've had, like I said, I've had a really good caseload. I mean, I've had several people that have asked me recently about transferring and the possibility to go up like to Kitsap County. But when they hear that, because it's closer for their work and stuff, but when they hear that they'd be transferred to the field office up there, like, we really like, working with you. Just, we jive well. Cool, then stick around. Go, yeah, I'm not going to move. Cool, that makes me feel good.
So,
And one thing too, as much as I hate the whole hug a thug mentality, it's like these guys are going to be our neighbors, and And with them, you guys know it, it's respect. It's like you talk at them, they get pissed. But if you talk to them, it makes such a difference. And there are officers in our office that talk down to them. And they intentionally make them wait when they come report for an extra half an hour. When they sit there and
that little bit of power you got over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
no.
bullshit.
I've been on supervision when I was younger. I got a DUI in college. And yeah, it was a pain in the ass. But the guy talked to me, not at me. And I fucked up. Okay, I owned it. Move on.
So you don't have any known enemies from either employees that you work with or people that you supervise or have supervised. That's what I hear you saying. What about outside of work? You got...
No.
Okay.
I'm not a meathead. I'm not one of those aggressive guys that likes to fight. I don't drink. I don't go to bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I know gets people in trouble. And what gets them enemies. Dope, drugs, money, and women. You don't do dope. You don't drink. Okay. Do you have money issues? Are you in business ventures with anybody?
No.
Okay. Do you have women issues?
No. I
Okay.
have my on and off and girlfriend.
Okay. Any other women anywhere that maybe you don't want publicly known to anybody else, but somebody might have a husband or a boyfriend that might be mad and find out that mama's been stepping out with somebody else?
No.
Okay. Because, I mean, that... A lot of times we find out that causes people to get their ass kicked. I've had people get shot at. I've had people get killed over, extramarital stuff. So, okay. Can you rack your brain and think of any reason that somebody would have to want you hurt or dead?
I've been thinking about that, and I have no idea. I don't know if that's what, like, my parents keep talking to me, maybe it being random. But that doesn't feel right either, that it's random. But I don't have any issues.
I'm glad you see that, because I don't see it as being random either. It's
too extreme. If I would have gotten hit, like over the head, or when I wasn't looking, something like that, but not shot.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's too extreme.
So let's talk about that day. Okay. I want you to start with...
You want to butt in real quick?
Yeah.
Just before we talk about that day, just what does your average day look like? You wake up in the morning about what time? And
Been in about 4:30. Make it to the gym. Well, about 5. I have all my stuff packed up. My clothes laid out for the next day. My bag's all ready to go.
and you work out where at?
Eating Time Fitness.
Here in Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get there about 5. And this isn't the day that you were shot, but just in general.
Mhm.
So to be down there in that assessment time is very important at this point. But so you're at the gym, you work out generally for about how long?
I'm normally done working out about 6:05, and then I take a shower.
At the gym?
Yeah.
Okay. And you end up leaving the gym then after your shit shower, shave, whatever, about what time?
It varies. I'm at work. I think the latest I've been at work was like 6:32 when after getting from the gym. But I mean I'm out of the gym normally by like 6:15, 6:20.
Okay. 6:15, 6:20. And then generally, do you stop and grab breakfast before you go to work? Or?
Not generally, but sometimes I will stop off. There are mornings when I have to get creamer or I have to get lemons for my water.
To take to work with you?
Yeah, so I'll
Okay.
stop off at the Safeway at the
Okay.
bottom there.
So sometimes go to Safeway, but not.
I did that morning.
And I'm not even talking about that morning.
Oh, okay.
Like, so you work out 5 days a week, I'm assuming? Or 4 days a week?
I go, 5.
Okay. And that's your work days as well, generally, and then your day off. So
Yeah, I don't go in on weekends.
okay. And then out of that 5 days a week, you'll need something at Safeway, what, once a week, twice a week?
Maybe once or twice.
Okay.
Because we all walk down there too, a lot. But when I need creamer, I stop in the mornings.
So if you don't need cream or anything like that, you get out of the gym 6:15, 6:20, you end up at work 6:25, 6:30. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. It only takes me 3 minutes to drive from the gym.
And when you get to the gym, or excuse me, when you get to work, do you have kind of like since you're there probably before most people, do you have kind of like your favorite spot to park, or
I did.
do you just park wherever?
It's kind of you park wherever, depending on where other people are, if there's offenders that are early, if whatever.
But I would imagine there's no offenders there at 6:30 in the morning generally. Maybe one at most.
Tuesday morning there was like 6 when we got there.
Okay.
So, because it was a report day.
Interesting.
But yeah, you can park right on the side on that road. On
4th Street?
Yeah.
So the road where the entrance is into DOC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you generally park on 4th Street.
I used to park farther up than where I did, because up like by where the vans are, that's where my window was busted out of it though. And when they repaved the whole parking lot and redid the lines, but where it drains, there's all this gravel, and so the whole sidewalk's covered in gravel, and that's where the guy hit the rock and threw it in my car. So that's why I don't like to park there anymore.
So you hit it with like his car and it shot up, you think?
No, he hit it. The owner of the building had maintenance there, groundskeeper, and he was weed whacking.
Oh, and twink. So it wasn't
Not intentional,
done.
or
It was just
wrong place, wasn't done.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an accident.
And they took care of that, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the guy was upset. He was so scared. He didn't have a driver's license. He didn't have a business license. Nothing.
So you park at 4th, and then I'm assuming you just go into work from there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're walking through the doors around 6:30, 6:35, something like that. Okay.
Are you usually the first one there?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Everyone's normal, and if it is, it's 30 seconds. It's never any significant amount of time.
Okay.
Do you smoke, or so you don't get out of your car and have a cigarette first or anything like that? Okay. Okay. Well, that kind of gets me at least an idea of the pattern.
So let's go last Thursday morning. What time do you get up?
It was a little bit. I woke up before my alarm, just before.
Is that usual, or is that...
Sometimes I just about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I got a new alarm clock. I got one of those sunlight alarm clocks that turns on real light and then slowly gets brighter at 10 minutes until the time, and then a nice like melody comes on.
That would be a much better way of waking up then.
Oh, it's made such. I would recommend it so much. It has made a great difference, and you just wake up so much more natural.
So what time is that alarm set for?
4:30.
Okay.
That is early.
Feels nice though. Nothing. Once I'm up out of my bed, I'm fine. Just that rolling off. Can't have my alarm close to me.
So you got up? Did you go to the gym that morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Normal day at the gym. It was actually busy. Normal people were there that I see. Funny, people are creatures of habit. Yeah, and I did my 25 miles on the bike and jumped in, showered. I was a couple minutes early, but nothing. It wasn't weird being early. Went to work.
Okay. So what do you drive?
Toyota Camry,
What year?
2021.
Okay. New car then. Okay. So you leave the gym. About what time do you leave?
6:05, 6:10.
Okay.
My car's very noticeable.
Okay. So when you leave the gym, Where do you go?
To work.
All right. Tell what route do you take to get to work?
I always come down the hill and I turn. What would that be the street before? Is that 3rd?
Before the DOC?
Yeah.
What hill do you come down?
Olympic.
Okay, so Olympic Highway North. So you come down the first street. The street before DOC would be 5th.
Okay, 5th, and that's where the
Because
big White
it goes
House is.
5th. Yes, where the
Okay.
White House is. Okay.
Turn there, left, and then go around the prosecutor's office, and then pull in and park.
Okay. So do you go through the alley or do you go up the next block to Birch Street?
I go through the street. I don't go through the alley.
Okay, so you come from 5th to Birch, and then you come along Birch to 4th, and then you come and you park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you do once you park your car?
That day, or
That day. We're talking now, we're on that day.
my sister pulled up behind me,
Okay.
and what the hell are you doing here? Got out, talked to her for a minute. She gave me a donut. I was telling her she's airy. She woke up in the morning thinking she had to work because she works at 6 o'clock and she unloads the truck at Tuesday mornings. And she thought she had to work. She said halfway there, I don't know. And realized that she didn't have to work. So she was awake. She stopped, said, and got me a donut. Talked to her for just a couple seconds. All right, see you later. All right, bye. And then I'd see her that night.
How long were you there before your sister showed up?
Oh, it was immediate.
So you pull in and then kind of she's pulling in type thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, she followed me around.
So she followed you, right? Did you know she was behind you when you pulled
When I-
up? Or you just
no.
parked and then all of a sudden she
Parked and then she was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What does your sister drive?
She drives a Borrego, a Kia.
Okay. Is that like an SUV or?
Mhm.
Okay. What color is it?
Kind of crimson.
Okay. So, does she pull in front of you or behind you?
Pulling in front.
Okay. So I want to do this. I don't know about you. I'm a visual person. It helps me to kind of see things. So, this is Alder. Do you know Alder Street? That's the one. And I'll say this. So this is the courthouse. Okay. This will be 4th. This is 5th. Fourth, 5th. Let's go here. I'm not an artist. I'm doing my best. Okay. DOC. I got the alleyway. Prosecutor's office. Roughly, okay? And we'll call this Birch Street. Okay. So, where do you park on 4th Street?
Here
Okay.
a lot, and then here is where all that gravel is.
Okay.
And so sometimes I normally don't park here, but I have before. That's where Randall normally parks, and he's in a yellow Mini. But yeah, that's
Okay. So you park along here. And where did your sister park?
She didn't really park. She just pulled up.
Okay.
She never got out of her car or anything.
Okay, so
She handed me the donut through the window.
she pulls up like this. Okay, and she's driving a Kia?
Mm-hmm.
And you drive a what?
Toyota.
Toyota. Okay. So she pulls up, and did she call you at
No.
all? Okay.
No, she just knew what time I get to work.
Okay. All right. So you pull up, you get out of your car. Are you out of your car when she pulls up? Or
My door was open, but I hadn't started to get out of the car yet.
Okay. So What did you think when all of a sudden this car stops right next to you?
I looked, and I recognized it was her car. I mean, I wasn't super startled. I mean, it didn't come ripping up to me or anything. It just came driving.
Okay. And what did she say?
Hey. Pretty much.
Did you guys have a conversation?
Yeah, small talk. I was like, what are you doing here? And then she told me what she did.
And what was that?
That she'd woken up and thought that her day was the wrong day. That she had worked that morning and that she hadn't.
Okay.
So we were laughing at her for that.
And you said she brought you a donut? Mm-hmm. Where'd she get the donut?
I have no idea. I don't remember what bag it was or anything.
Okay. What kind of donut was it?
Maple bar.
All right. Did you eat it?
Mm-hmm.
While you were standing there talking to her, or later on?
When I was in my car and getting my stuff together.
Okay, so she literally then, I want to make sure I understand this correctly then, she pulls up, hey, I got you a donut, you talk to her, she gives you the bag, she drives away.
There was a little more, but not a whole lot. I mean, it was, yeah, it wasn't like a conversation.
Okay.
Anything deep, nothing. It was, all right, kind of thing.
How long do you think that interaction lasted between you and your sister?
20 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay. So then you go back to your car. You sit there and eat your donut
No, I'm eating it.
while you're talking to her?
No, she left and then I started eating it. And then I'm getting my stuff together.
Okay. Then what happens?
Grab my stuff, shut the door, and I hear a loud bang and felt like someone had hit me in the side, in the kidney, but then it felt hot. And then I'm like looking like I don't really realize what's happening. And so then, and I do like, then I'm standing here, and when I get hit, I kind of turn this way a little bit. And I didn't see him at first. I heard footsteps, which I didn't hear any fucking footsteps before. And then I heard the running, and so I looked, and I just saw a form. Like,
Where?
running towards, around that big tree where the prosecutors was running down towards the library. That would be
So the big tree.
this way.
So the big tree is kind of right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see the person running where?
I look and I see him about here. He was in the middle of the street, just like going around that tree.
Okay. What's he look like?
I only saw dark clothes. I don't know what color it was, black, dark blue. Had a hoodie and looked to be dark pants.
Okay.
I didn't see from the front. I know that there was all these descriptions of a black leather jacket with a blue mask and this stuff. I don't know where that
Where'd
came
that
from.
come from?
I don't know. I saw it on Facebook. And
Okay.
they had on the Shelton's Facebook page. It had it.
Did you see the gun?
No.
Okay. Did you have a chance to return fire?
I didn't even have my pistol on me. I had it in my locker in my office.
What kind of gun do you have?
Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm.
And is that personally owned or department issued?
Department.
Okay. Is it a shield or just an M&P?
Just an M&P.
Okay.
My personal carry is a shield 9mm.
Did you have that with you?
No, I carry probably 80% of the time. And I was going to pick my kids up from school the night before, and so I didn't want to have it on me.
Cool. Your department or your personal gun?
Either.
Okay.
I normally wear my department gun to and from work, to home. But if I'm planning on going and doing something afterwards, I'll leave it in my locker at work.
Okay. So when you, I want to back up then. You go to the gym, you work out, and you go straight from the gym to work.
Mm-hmm.
So you get dressed then at the gym in your work clothes, correct?
Yeah, but we don't have a uniform or anything.
Okay. All right. What were you wearing that day?
A flannel, a t-shirt, and jeans.
Okay. And you said normally you carry your gun in transit to home to work. Okay. Where and how do you carry your gun?
On my hip.
Okay. Do you have a department issued holster or a holster that you've purchased?
Department issue.
Okay. So it's normally on you right or left handed?
Right.
You're right handed. So I'm assuming you carry it on your right side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you didn't that day?
No, I didn't the 2 days, that day or the day prior. And just because I had no reason why, I just had things to do.
Okay.
And hindsight, it's probably a good thing because I wouldn't have been able to return fire if I would have, because I got hit in the arm. And what I saw, there wouldn't have been, I don't feel, a clear enough shot with those apartments anyway
Okay.
to make, that would have been endangering a shit ton of people.
So were you hitting your right arm?
Yeah.
So,
And I know I saw the video. I never saw a car. When Detective Larson showed me, I didn't hear a car. I didn't see a car.
You mean you didn't see it in a video, or you didn't see it that night?
That night.
That morning?
That morning.
Okay.
I don't know how I didn't, especially considering the time that how long they stayed after I was shot.
what do you mean?
In the video, when the gunshot, it shows that the person stayed for a little bit, like for a few seconds,
How do you know that?
because he showed me the video.
Okay. How do you know when the gunshot occurs in the video?
Because he showed me where the flash was.
Okay.
Was I not supposed to have seen that?
Well, it doesn't show a flash. And the flash that it shows in the video, I think, is you locking your car.
Oh, because he said, yeah, that he's like, that's the gunshot, and
Yeah.
then they stay.
No, he was wrong. We were able to prove that later on. So we've got a time because so what happened is, well, I will get to that. I want to back up. So I want to keep going with your recitation of what happened. So your sister shows up, says, "Hey, I'm an idiot. I thought I had to work today. Here's a donut." Essentially, it's kind of the small talk you said. She hands you the donut. She drives away. You're getting your stuff. You're eating the donut.
But back up. When she was there, and I was talking to her, the cat lady came. She drove by and pulled through the alley to feed the cats.
Tell me about the cat lady.
I don't know what her name is. She's a lady that comes in the morning. She rides around town, and she has a kitten rescue. It's not the big one going out of town, but she says it's a smaller one, and
Yep.
she feeds strays.
Okay.
And so she always comes by them in the mornings and makes sure that the cat's food dishes.
So cat lady came by while you were talking to your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had that clear.
Did you talk to the cat lady?
No,
Okay.
I've only spoken to her one time.
Okay. All right. How do you know it was her?
It's the same car that she gets out of.
Okay. All right. So the cat lady shows up. She's there while your sister's there?
Mhm.
Okay. And then where does the cat lady go again?
She turns down the alley because she feeds the cats right in the back of not in the back of the building, but in the back, that side.
Okay. This cat lady goes in the alley. Your sister leaves. You lock your car, you said. And are you walking to the building when you get shot?
No, I'm right in front of my door.
Okay.
Right when I lock it.
Okay.
So you just close the door, lock it with the key fob, I'm assuming, and then that's when you get shot?
I had my keys in my hand and I locked the car because if you have your keys on you, you can just touch the door handle and it locks.
Right,
So
okay.
that's how
Okay.
I did. And then right then is when I got shot.
Okay.
Okay. So you said you didn't remember first, but now you remember hearing footsteps.
No, not footsteps beforehand. I heard them when they were away after the shot. And that's what got my attention too, was when I saw the person running.
Okay. So you had heard nothing before the shot.
Not a thing.
So nobody says anything to you. It's no, you fucker, I told you I'd get you, anything like that.
No words.
Okay. And then you get shot. You said you dropped to a knee because you feel it burning and you feel like you've been punched in the kidney.
One or two knees, yeah, I can't remember, but I went down to kind of collect myself and, yeah.
When did you realize you were shot? Before you dropped down to your knees? Or were you kind of like, what the fuck was that?
I was like, what the hell just happened? And then I felt the burning, and I looked down, and then I saw blood coming down. I took a knee and kind of figured, shit, can I even make it to the office? What should I do?
So when you were on a knee or two, that's when you saw this guy running?
When I got shot, and I kind of turned a little bit, and that's when I heard, and then I saw, and that's like I saw it, and that's when at the same time, all of it was happening
Okay.
at once.
Did you kneel in the road, or did you make it covered behind your car, or?
I initially went down pretty much right there, and then I went to the front before I went into the office.
To the front of the car?
Yeah, kind of in front of the
And
bumper.
then did you just kind of beeline to the office? Okay.
Yeah.
And you saw the guy running around the tree, headed in the direction that you believe he's headed towards the library.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said hoodie, dark clothes, that's all you got. Could you tell? You keep referring to it as a guy. Can you say for sure it was a male or a female?
I can't. I'm going by the stride. I mean, because you can tell how a man runs compared to most women.
Okay. Was it an athletic looking run?
Yeah, it didn't look to be like, it wasn't a weird waddle or some old, out of shape,
Okay.
funky walk. You know.
That rules me out.
Did you recognize the clothing, the build, anything about this person
No,
familiar to you?
there was nothing that stood out at all. It was just dark. And with how dark it is over there in the mornings,
Okay. So then what do you do?
while I'm trying to get into the office, I'm trying to use my phone too. And my fingers aren't working. And being the first person there, the deadbolt was locked. And I didn't realize that. I wasn't thinking, so I just tried doing the regular bolt, the door, and it didn't open. And so then I had to do the deadbolt and then do the regular door. So then I got in the office, and just right in the office, I dropped my phone. I went down to 2 knees, and then I was able to use my phone on the floor. And I
Okay.
called 911.
So you called 911 from your cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What'd you tell 911?
I said I've been shot in my arm, and then I think she said, "Am I shot anywhere else?" And I'm looking, and I had blood on my side and my arm. It's like I think I'm shot twice. I think I said I only heard one shot though. She was asking how many, and who I was, and then the officer was there immediately. Opened the door, and he thought I was gonna. I think he thought I was gonna be out in the parking lot, not in the building. And so he was asking who I was, and I explained it. And then, yeah, he made the calls, and I just sat there and held pressure till the medics got there.
Okay. So where exactly were you hit?
Right here in the side, right here in the knee.
Okay. All right. And what direction were you facing when you got shot? Were you facing? I'm picturing you. You said you're standing right next to your car.
Facing the car.
You're facing your car, and you don't see anybody in front of you. So, are you shot from behind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't hear anything to make me turn around. And that's why I kind of blame myself. And I also was listening to that stupid tape. That wasn't smart.
So you're listening to that. You said you were listening to that in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Did you wear any earbuds or anything?
When I work out, I do, and then
Okay.
when I'm in my car, it plays over the Bluetooth.
Okay.
And then when I turn my car off, it goes back to playing on my phone.
So did you have your earbuds in?
No, I was
Okay.
listening to it. It was just playing on my phone.
So it's playing on your phone. It's playing through the speaker on your phone.
Mhm.
Okay. So you've got that noise. I guess it could be white noise, if anything else. Okay. So then you go inside and you call 911. Who do you think is responsible for this?
I don't know. And that's the part that I'm having a hard time with. Be a lot easier if I knew who it was.
Right? Do you feel like you were specifically targeted?
Like we were saying earlier, I don't know. But I know when I think about it being random, it doesn't feel right. So, I think I was targeted, but I don't know why.
Okay. You don't have any enemies within the DOC system. No no offenders on your current caseload. Nobody on prior caseloads. Nothing like that.
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Are you involved in anything to where anybody would want to be sending you a message or anything?
No, I'm boring.
Okay.
I'm not involved in any kind of.
Because here's the issue. Here's some of the things that stick out to me and that have been causing me problems ever since I heard about this. Right now, across the country, you're seeing a lot of ambushes on police officers, corrections officers, CCOs, these types of things. Law enforcement is not a popular line of work these days. Okay. But in these ambushes, where people are being attacked, there's multiple shots being fired. And this is just me, it seems odd to me that if this is truly an ambush trying to kill you, that there's only one gunshot fired.
I don't think they were trying to kill me.
What do you think they were trying to do?
I'm too big of a target to miss that bad.
Okay.
I don't know if it is them trying to send a message, them trying to inflict pain on me, inflict fear. I don't know. But that just seems like too bad of a shot to be just a bad shot.
Who's them? Who do you think them would be?
I don't know.
What about when you were at Green Hill? Did you have any issues with anybody at Green Hill?
Oh yeah.
Because that's generally like where the kids have, done more of the serious crimes, end up at. They're, kind of the bigger, stronger kids that they've got a point to prove.
Yeah, I mean, but nothing that sticks out individually. Yeah, I did have a scare one time, but it was with someone that actually an offender, a kid that he was on my caseload, that I took him off hill and was able to get him to be there for his baby to be born. A few months later, it was Christmas time, I was coming home with my kids and it's snowing, Christmas lights up, and I hear someone yell my name. I look over and he's standing right there by my house. But no, he wasn't a bad one. No, I don't. Just your typical having to take one of those mouthy guys down and I'm gonna kill you, on my mom. Oh, that's stupid stuff, but nothing.
Nothing significant.
Nothing to lose sleep over.
Will stay there in their mind for this amount of time, type thing.
No, I never was the reason for someone catching more time or nothing like that. So.
So, one of the things that we've done, that we do in these types of cases, is we do an area canvas and try to come up with and identify all potential items of evidence. Okay, so that morning, what happened was, as soon as you called 911 and that first arriving officer shows up, they lock down that entire area. I mean, a multiple block radius around the courthouse or around the DOC office. That they brought in crime scene techs from the State Patrol that came in and did an evidence search, they actually recovered a bullet out of your car. Were you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the cool thing about that is I'm not a firearms expert, but I looked at the bullet and there's enough ballistic characteristics on that, they're going to be able to tie that to a gun.
Really?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, which is nice. So that bullet was hand delivered to a firearms lab in Spokane yesterday, and the Shelton's waiting a phone call back with the results of that testing.
Can I get that bullet back after everything's said and done?
No, it's evidence. So we've got that. But the interesting thing is there was never a shell casing recovered, which leads me to believe one of two things. Either the shooter picked up the shell casing after it was ejected, if it's a semi-auto, or it was a revolver and there's no ejection. Okay, I guess one of three things. Or the third thing is that the shot was fired from within a vehicle and the casing never exited the vehicle and the bullet left from the vehicle, or the casing left from the vehicle left. Okay. So that was done. They brought in firearms and bomb detecting dogs from ATF, whose sole purpose in life is to track down explosives and guns. So if a gun has been recently fired and somebody walks away with it, it's constantly dropping, microscopic trace. I don't know how familiar you are with firearms, okay? But guns are dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Ammunition is dirty, especially if it is not hand-loaded ammunition, just, manufactured mass from, ammo companies. So what happens is you've got the components of a bullet. You've got the actual projectile, the bullet, and then the casing that it sits in, and then that casing is filled with powder, and that powder is filthy. But the nice thing is each company registers with the ATF the type of powder that they use. And when you look at the powder under a microscope, it's cool as hell. It's all different shapes. So federal powder has a specific shape and appearance, as opposed to blazer powder has a specific shape. HMR powder has its own specific shape. So scientists can look under a microscope and go, oh, that's federal powder. So we're looking at a federal manufactured. If it's hand loads like HMR or black powder, those are different, but again, they have their own unique shape and size. Okay. The stuff about non-hand load, just this mass-produced ammunition, it's not very precise and it's dirty, and you can get fluctuations in the amount of powder in each round. So that gun goes off. The bullet, the powder explodes in the casing, which sends the bullet down that barrel. Okay, as that bullet is going through that barrel, it's spinning because it catches the rifling in the barrel, and that rifling leaves grooves and marks on that bullet that are unique to that gun. So then we can then later on take the bullet, they can examine it, and if they have a gun to compare it to, they can say, oh, yep, this is a match. This bullet was fired from this gun. Okay. What people don't know, and what doesn't get told all that often, is, so you said you have an M&P Shield that is your personal gun. Where did you buy that?
I got it from I have 5 guns. Renegade.
So you bought it from Renegade. Was it brand new when you bought it? Okay. Do you remember then when you bought it, when you opened it up and you take it home and you open up that box, do you remember there being a small envelope
with casing,
with a casing in it? Do you know why that is?
It's
What?
identification.
Yeah. So 2 things they've done. They have fired that casing, so they take a microscopic photo of the primer strike, because each gun's firing pin is unique as a fingerprint, because the microscopic grooves and marks on that pin leave that indentation on that casing. So then they can tie that casing back later on. If you get a drive-by shooting or you get a homicide scene or something, we pick up shell casings, we send them in, they run it through their database, and oh, that matches this gun, which was sold to this person on this date and this time. Okay, so shell casings are great, but they also log in the rifling and stuff from that expended round that they fire. So you've got, when you buy a gun, They're letting you know, hey, we've got this for identification purposes. They know the rifling on that gun, and they know the head stamp or the primer strike from your firing pin. So all of that is recorded in a national database. So the nice thing is once that lab gets done running the ballistics work on that bullet, they're going to take the measurements and the markers that they need to take, and then they're going to run that through that database, and hopefully we should get a hit on which gun that comes back to.
Do you know what caliber it was yet?
I don't
saying
know.
380 or 9mm?
I don't know.
Yeah, we personally never saw the bullet.
No, I've seen photos of the bullet. That's it. And that's why I'm saying, based on the photos that I saw, I certainly believe there's enough ballistic characteristics they're going to be able to tie it to a gun. So,
You did a number on the car.
did it?
Yeah.
Where did it hit the car?
In the center pillar between the two doors. About $1,600 on the damage.
So, it's interesting to me that nobody recovered a shell casing, because they had those dogs out there that are specially trained to track down guns that have been recently fired. And that's where I was going with this whole thing. The gun goes off, and then it continues to drop the powder because it's a mess. That powder goes down the barrel, powder goes out the barrel, and if it's close enough, so if it's a contact wound, if you and I are sitting here right here and I fire a gun at you, that powder, microscopic powder, comes out, hits, and it burns into your clothing. If you're not wearing clothing, it burns into your skin, and it causes what we call stippling. You see all these little burn marks. It looks like little tiny tattoos. If there's clothing there, it's not necessarily noticeable until you put it under a microscope with an alternate light source, and you look at it under a fluorescent light, and then you can see that. The nice thing is a firearms lab, usually the firearms lab that we utilize is in Tacoma. They're backlogged right now, so I think everything's going to Spokane. They can take that, and then they can take, once they determine the make and model of the firearm from the bullet's characteristics, then they will go get an identical make and model firearm, and they will shoot at a target at distances, trying to compare. So if they come up with, on your clothing, burnt powder in a pattern, they will shoot at known distances until they create that same pattern. Okay, and from that, they're going to say, okay, this gun was this far away from Chris when he was shot, based on this scientific process. Okay, but it's all that burnt powder that continues to drop from that gun even after it's fired. So somebody shoots you, and then they take off running, and they still have that gun. Just think of how violent it is when you run. Okay, you're pumping your arms.
What if you put it in your pocket?
Okay, if you put it in your pocket, it's still going to sit there and seep into your pocket. Okay, but if they're running, and with it in their hand, it's going to be dropping stuff, right? That dog from the ATF didn't pick up on a damn thing.
Nothing?
Nothing. No shell casing, no track, nothing. We took one of our patrol canines out there, and they casted that dog out trying to find, based on your description of I saw somebody go that way, they didn't pick up on anything. So that's troubling to me. The fact that they did not find a shell casing based on your description of how this went down is extremely troubling to me, unless this is a revolver. I don't know. Again, once we find out the round, once we find the ballistic characteristics, we're going to know exactly the make and model of the firearm that was used. Hopefully, once they run it through the computer, we're going to know the exact make and we're going to know the exact gun. Nice thing about the ATF is they keep records on all. So if you purchase a firearm from a dealer, from a registered licensed dealer, and they file their paperwork properly, the original purchaser, that information is tracked. Subsequent sales after that aren't tracked, but the original purchase of every firearm is tracked. So hopefully, whoever did this was the original purchaser of the firearm, and we're going to get that information. We'll be able to make the ID that way. Okay.
Revolver. I haven't shot a revolver in forever.
Something else that was done immediately is we had detectives from our agency, police department. I think Thurston County was there, Kitsap County was there. we had FBI agents, we had ATF agents, we had marshals. They started going door to door to all the houses in the neighborhood, checking for video surveillance. Not everybody. A lot of people these days have Wi-Fi enabled cameras and different cameras recording surveillance. Everybody, people have Ring doorbell systems. They've got all this stuff. And we were able to identify a number of different places immediately in the area that had cameras. So we were able to get, it's actually pretty cool. So this is an aerial photograph of the area. Okay. So based on what you told me, you parked in this area right here, because this is the prosecutor's office. That's DOC. Okay. So the house right across the street here that used to be Jeanette Booth's, the old attorney, this guy actually owns a home surveillance company, and he's got quite a few cameras and systems set up. And he's got a camera set up that's pointed just this direction, right exactly at where your car was parked. Okay. We've got some difficulties because of a lighting situation here. It doesn't show much. What it is so he's got a covered porch, cameras back here, floodlights out here, street is here. Floodlight kicks on, it washes out everything. It's great for stuff that's right here, but then it washes out everything in the video screen beyond that. So you see things that are fuzzy. But the nice thing about it is this camera also records audio. Okay? And that camera and all the footage from it and all the data from that has been turned over to the FBI, and I'm awaiting a phone call any minute now from them telling us that they've got the audio cleaned up and we're going to have that. Okay. This White House here behind your office has a Ring doorbell system, and they've got a camera positioned here that shoots out this way covering the intersection. Okay. And then another one pointed this way up 5th Street, kind of towards the AFO house, the house where we had the homicide last year. Okay. And we're covering that way. This system covers audio as well. And we were able to say and determine based on that, we know exactly what time the gunshot was fired because it was caught on the audio.
It was caught on audio. Other audios from further away, but
right.
Just weren't proven.
So according to the Ring doorbell system, the gunshot was heard at 6:13 and 34 seconds. So 6:13 in the morning, 6:13:34. This Ring system picks up the audible gunshot. Okay. So here's where things get complicated. And this is where I'm hoping you can really help us out. Okay. And here's the thing, Chris. You've got a bunch of coworkers right now that are absolutely scared shitless. Okay. They're scared to go to work. They're scared that every time they walk in and out of the doors of their office, they're going to get shot, just like you did. Okay. You've got officers from Shelton, here, surrounding counties, and all these federal agencies working round the clock on this case. Okay? Hundreds of man hours invested into this investigation thus far. Okay? A lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of money spent on this. We've been able to piece these videos together, and we identify a suspect car. Okay? The suspect car comes up 5th Street, turns onto Birch, and as it approaches Birch Street, it turns off its headlights, and it slow rolls down here. Okay? And it stops. That gunshot is fired, and it stays there for 20 seconds. Then it drives with its headlights off, turns its headlights on, makes a right turn, and goes this way. Chris, the problem that I have is that vehicle is your sister's car. So we have to have a very real conversation. Okay? You know what happened. You know who shot. And we need to end this right now.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me what happened. I have a pretty good idea that I know what happened. But I need to hear it from you.
What do you mean you think you know what happened? What's your idea?
I'm going to be honest. I think you shot yourself.
And why do you think I would do that?
There's a number of different reasons. I don't know. That's what I need you to help me out with. Or I need you to tell me that I'm way off base and my sister shot me, or somebody in my sister's car shot me. But I need you to tell me the truth.
Yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with the investigation, but it does kind of have to do with the investigation. Let's prove a point that DOC doesn't care.
What do you mean?
We are a number to them, and until something drastic happens, we're not safe. How they treat us is like shit. Like I said, with that whole thing with Bambi's brother, how I was treated was bullshit. And then after that, not a couple months later, it was snowing, and I was the only one in the office, and they told me to stay in the office. And there's no reason we should be closed, even though I'm by myself. After I just sent you those emails like a month ago. So, but it didn't have anything to do with the investigation.
So why did you get your sister wrapped up?
Because I knew she would do it, because I could talk her into it. Because like I said, she's easily manipulatable.
So what did you have her doing?
Shoot me.
Why didn't you just shoot yourself? Well, I mean, why wrap her into it?
Because I knew I never thought it would be this big of a deal.
Well, you did it to prove a point. You knew it was going to draw attention. You knew
Yeah.
it would be an investigation. So, I mean, why bring her into it as well?
Because I didn't really think there'd be any way for me to do it, to get away with it, shooting myself.
So how did you pick the area that you decided to get shot at?
I just did it. I just picked. There was...
Just said, right here?
Yeah.
So you turn around and fish your car, so you don't have to...
No, I was standing there, and then she just did it.
Well, walk me through that.
Oh, she pulled up, and she said she didn't want to, and I said, yes, just do it, and I'll be fine. She did. She left.
What if she would have hit you in the balls, or the liver, or
That was an incredibly stupid decision on my part.
the lungs? Or, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is she a good shot?
She's been shooting before. And my shoulder's messed up. My hand, I got in a wreck. I can't shoot anymore. And it just, yeah. The way things are going, how they're getting rid of us, and they're getting more GRE people. They're sending them out. They don't want them wearing body armor. They don't want them having guns. So.
So why weren't you didn't wear body armor or anything to protect yourself? Where did you tell her to shoot you?
Inside.
What gun did she use?
One in my house.
What is it?
It's a 9mm.
It's the shield.
Huh.
Is it a shield?
Mm-mm.
What was it?
It's a Sigma.
Whose gun is it?
Mine, I got it in a trade off Craigslist probably 15 years ago.
Where is it at right now?
That hurts.
Where at?
Oh, on top of their safe.
In the main house.
In their bedroom.
Do your parents know what was going on?
Not a clue.
Who knows?
My little sister. So, and whatever I have to do to take everything. I mean, I completely fucking talked her into it.
How long have you guys been talking about this?
Oh shit, it was like 2 days.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back? What made you finally say, fuck this?
The fact that Kurt Smith told me I'm on investigation, he wouldn't tell me why, and that was on a Thursday, and then the next Tuesday was my main report date, and I said, so how do you expect me to go about business? And he said, go about business as normal. So when someone's making allegations against me, I'm supposed to just go about business as normal and not... Yeah. It was a poor choice. But I hope something positive does come out
It
of it.
sounds like there were some poor choices all around, though. I mean, it seems to me more like they put you on administrative leave if there was this allegation, instead of making you show up to work with no information, not knowing how you're supposed to proceed, what you can and can't say about whomever the topic is about, because you don't fully know, right?
I had no
Which
direction at all.
is pretty horseshit. So what are you to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it seems at least they tell you to stay home and collect your paycheck until they get it figured out.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse.
So how do you convince your sister to do this? What do you tell her?
Like I said, I took advantage of her. She's easily manipulatable. She's emotionally stunted.
So, I mean, what'd you tell her?
I said, I can't do this anymore. This is bullshit. Now I'm under some fucking investigation. And it's just, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I had an appointment for my anxiety with my doctor, but I missed it.
So how did you come up with the idea to stage a shooting?
I don't know, but it was stupid. It was a very thought out plan. And I mean, on that sense too, it wasn't like I was trying to get away with a big something either. It was just, everyone screams at DOC and no one listens. Nobody fucking listens.
So what were you hoping to accomplish?
That the whole pendulum swing to the left with our new secretary and everything would be looked at again.
That's statewide law enforcement period right now.
Fucking damn near nationwide, but the state's fucked up right now.
It's not just DOC.
Well, and I mean, and it sounds stupid, but I mean, it's tied with you guys too. I mean, it's everything that we see and we hear. I mean, we have lots of friends that are law enforcement and seeing it every day is just, yeah.
So you talk to your sister. What does she say when you initially go to her?
No.
Like, okay. How are you able to convince her this is what needs to be done?
I said it's point blank. You won't miss. And I'll be fine.
So where were you standing at? In her passenger door?
No, and that's how she shot me through the door, but
Right.
it wasn't
But where were you physically standing?
in front of my car. She was, yeah, I mean, in front of like directly in front of the passenger door, but a few feet away.
And you're facing her? Okay, yeah, I didn't think so.
So you're putting a whole lot of faith in your sister that she's gonna.
I guess you're gonna flinch otherwise, right? if you are facing her, there's a good possibility to do one of these and then catch it somewhere else.
So, does she hesitate at all? I mean, does she have any? How much convincing does it take it from on the roadside right there that day? No, we're gonna do this. This is what we planned.
Oh, a hell of a lot.
Because she's there and you guys are talking.
Yeah.
Does she already have?
There's no donut, is there?
No.
This donut story's BS. Okay.
Does she have the gun at that point, or do you hand it to her?
She had it. I got it the night before.
So she had it. She shows up. You guys are talking, probably making sure that this is actually something you're going to go through with, right?
She was saying that she wanted to do it, and I just kind of said, "Yeah, you're doing it." I mean, she had an option to back out, but I mean, I feel like I backed her into a corner.
So the first time she's there with you, and you guys are talking, does she leave?
She's going to run the block.
Why?
She said she wasn't. She didn't know she could do it.
I mean, it seems weird that we can see her there with you to begin with. Then she drives around the block. Why doesn't she just do it when she's there the first time with you?
Because that's what we were pondering.
Because she didn't want to.
Did she come back around and check on you to make sure you made it in the DFC? Or did
No,
she-
because she didn't want to.
How did you know she was going to do it, though? She drove away. What did you think when she drove away? Or was the plan you're going to drive?
No, it was. I was like, oh well, all right. You know, it's not going through that.
So how did she know the when and the where?
I told her,
What did you tell her?
come to my work at this time.
So you go to the gym. Did you do that? Go to the gym as your normal, just to kind of help create an alibi, or what?
No, just to go. That was my routine.
Okay.
And I figured if I was not going to be at the gym for a few days, I needed to go that morning too.
Okay.
Get my 25 miles in.
So you leave the gym. Do you call her on your way down there?
No. I hadn't talked to her before. The night before was the last time.
So you discussed it with her for a couple of days. The night before, you said, we're doing this. This is when and this is where.
Mm-hmm.
When you showed up at your office, was she already there?
No, she pulled up a few minutes after.
Okay.
I think I didn't ask her. I just told her when, and then
What time was she supposed to be there?
right about that time, like 10, or 6:10, 6:15.
Okay. But you had to set on a specific time. What time was she supposed to be there? What was the plan?
6:10. Because I told her I'd be there about 6:10, 6:15.
Okay.
And I don't know if she parked somewhere or if she turned the lights on and then pulled up. I just saw her when she pulled up.
Okay. So she pulls up. You have the conversation. She's hesitant, doesn't want to do it, tries to back out.
Mhm.
And you essentially say, it's got to be done.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be putting words in your mouth, but this is what I understood you to say earlier. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure those exact words, but along that just, yeah.
Okay. She drives around the block, comes back. She does it. She hangs out there for like 20 seconds. Is she checking on you? Or do you get up and say, good job, I'm good? What? Tell me about that.
I don't recall. I don't know. I don't know if I said something to her. I just remember being confused.
Okay. So, when's the first time afterwards that you two had any privacy and got a chance to talk about it?
2 days later,
Tell me about that.
she came in and asked how I was doing. And I said, good. She said that she hates me and that she's freaking out.
What did she get out of this?
Nothing.
You didn't pay her any money?
Nothing. I didn't pay her a dime. Like I said, I just knew she would do it.
It's kind of a shitty thing to do to your sister.
Yeah, it is. How does that work, though? What is she looking at?
That's a great question. And that's a question I'm going to have to ask a prosecutor because I don't know.
Maybe nothing.
Because, I mean, it's not attempted murder. It's not assault, because that would have to be unwanted, wouldn't it?
Potentially. I'm sure there's a crime that's been committed.
Unlawful firearm. Unlawful discharge of a firearm.
Within the city limits.
Um,
Reckless and dangerous.
reckless endangerment, drive-by shooting at the very least, I think. Conspiracy to whatever. I mean, was there a plan to turn around and, file for, leave DOC on a medical? Or, I can't go back to work?
I didn't really have a plan.
You had to have had some kind of a plan.
Well, I knew I wouldn't be medically retired. I mean, that just doesn't happen with Ellen and I. I had a battle with them, like I said, and that didn't work. I just wanted, really, it was attention. And if I was going to go back to DOC, I would go back, and things would then be different. Things would have changed.
Changed how?
More security minded, safer for the officers. Actually view offenders as what they are, not as
And what are they?
people that are on supervision for committing a crime. That they're not our friends. We're not supposed to be going in there and sitting down in their house and sitting on their couch bullshitting with them.
Is that what they want?
That's what's happening. That's what a lot of officers are doing. So,
I'm going to step out for a few minutes. I got to make a couple of phone calls, and I got to get some direction.
yeah.
Okay. So, Chris, I want you to know that I appreciate your honesty. Okay. That means a lot.
It probably feels good to finally get it off your chest too. 'Cause
Well,
think
I wasn't trying to pull anything. I wasn't trying to get out of this investigation. I know how it looks. Fuck. But if I'm going to tell you that I had my sister shoot me, I'm going to tell you I fucked that random girl. Sorry. This is a lot more detrimental to my career than if I hooked up with someone. And I never sexually touched her besides that hug.
that's not sexual.
I never had physical contact besides that. And
If she runs up and hugs you, that's a little different than, you grabbing her ass and sticking your tongue down her throat, right? So,
I'll be back.
all right.
so Chris, riddle me this, would you? Because that's where I was scratching my head. Was when your sister left, right, to go around the block, was she just trying to clear her head and get in the right mindset to do this to her brother, or were you telling her like, hey, the cat lady's there and let's wait for her to leave, and then come back?
It was both. I know that the cat lady pulling in there, but I don't even know how long the cat lady stayed. But she was having a very hard time because she didn't want to do it.
Well, you're her brother, right? And you're her big brother.
And ever since she's been sick, she's always looked up to me. So yeah, I knew I could take advantage of her.
Were you hoping that from this maybe it would rekindle a better relationship with you and your children's mother? You said you were on good terms, but were you, since she and her husband are separated, were you thinking
No, that's
that maybe she would be like, oh my God, are you okay? Let me take care of you for a little bit.
No. I love that woman, and part of me is still in love with her, and I think that I want to be with her, and then it's romanticized idea.
The only reason I'm asking is because for me, it would be really hard to be away from my kids that much.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it would get me in the same house as my kids, and I still liked her, obviously, and we could get along, for me, that would be an upside, because then I would be around my children. I'd see them when they're home from school, and I could maybe help get them ready in the morning, or pick them up off the bus once in a while, or, that sort of thing. Not just be able to see them on the weekends, and, I just have more time with my kids.
No, that wasn't part of it, because when we're together and at kids' things, she irritates me. Ooh, am I going to be arrested today?
Honestly, I don't know. There's nothing that says you have to be.
What's the crime?
Well, it could be several different things, and that's probably what he's probably talking to the prosecutor to just kind of lay it out and like, look, he's been a stand-up dude. Obviously, it's fallen too long, but here's what actually happened. Kind of confirms what we already thought. It supports the video we have, but he came clean. He didn't continue to bullshit us down when he was confronted, and so it's just a conversation with the prosecutor. So it's not like you're a flight risk. You're not going to pack up and move to, Oklahoma overnight over this. It's really not the end of the world. I mean, they're going to be a little pissed at you at work probably, but
Yeah, I'll get fired, but well.
You were probably planning on quitting there either way, right?
That was still really up in the air.
So how'd you like Green Hill compared to working for DOC?
It was the same.
But you were a counselor there, right?
Yeah.
Caseload, which is essentially kind of the same as the CCO, except you're inside of them.
Dealing with parents sucked.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, absent parents, and then you hear how some of these kids grew up and how they lived their lives, and you're like, Jesus.
Well, and then we're mad at them for what they've done, and then we release them back to their family in the same neighborhood, in the same house, the same friends. It's like, what? Why do you think that they're going to change?
Yep.
It's just like DSC putting those sex offenders. Before I lost the house, for the house was given to a different officer, there was a guy that was on for porn. He had porn on his phone, and he would masturbate to newborns to teenagers. And I denied him to stay at that house because there was all those play structures and little kiddie pools and shit that the little kids would play in their bikinis and little bathing suits and stuff. And I was told no. And it's like, how? And
Should they still be so many feet away?
the supervisor overrode me and he approved it. And he said that he would put that we could implement mitigating factors, or we can mitigate things to implement things to mitigate the risk. And nothing was put in. And the guy's been violating watching porn the entire time. He's just fucking lip service.
No, it's like putting a boa constrictor in a dog kennel with a dog, right? They're fine when the boa constrictor's full.
Yeah.
But once he's hungry, the dog's done for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't envy that position at all. So how'd you end up getting hurt when you were working down at the where the Toyota dealership now is?
There was a great big pile of earth, and it was a rainy, windy day. It was covered in visqueen, and one of the straps popped, and so I had to climb up there and retie the sandbags and stuff. And I slipped, and when it came down, it just came down my arm, and it popped my shoulder, and had a labral tear. And
Did you ever get surgery on it?
yeah, it didn't go right. I have a disability on it. The L&I people tried telling me that I could go back to prior jobs that I worked as a keg delivery driver or as
Well, yeah, because those aren't
as a
having a background,
barista.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, they told me that since I worked as a barista when I was 16, I could go back to it. I said, so you're telling me a 55-year-old woman that gets hurt on the job that she was a stripper when she went through college, she can go back to being a stripper? Well, that's different. Well, it's a yes or no question.
Yeah, your body starts to fall apart. Just don't heal up the same once you get older.
Mm-hmm.
What made you think of just saying it was a person versus, somebody driving through the neighborhood? Like, what was your thought behind that?
Really vague. Because I wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. I wasn't trying to pin it on anybody. Shit, I'm not worried about myself. I'm just worried about my sister. And that wasn't smart.
This is the reason you didn't shoot yourself, because you had to do something with the gun.
No. I didn't think about it. Yeah, this wasn't a real highly premeditated thing.
Well, some thought went into it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Not.
But at least you weren't, throwing random people you supervise out under the bus. I think it was such and such, or, he called me. He told me he was going to get me one day.
No, I wasn't trying to get anyone. Like I said, I was trying to bring light.
How long did you sell your place in West Olympia?
4 years.
What part of?
Right behind the Auto Mall on Fern Street.
Uh-huh. Buy those apartments?
Yeah. Yeah, I sold it for 4. And then now it's like 620 for a cookie cutter.
Yeah, the houses right now are just through the freaking roof, man. It's ridiculous. It's crazy what real estate is.
Can I pee?
Yeah.
I was going to tell you, I'm my fire money.
That's fun.
Okay.
You're not on the grass.
So I just got done meeting with half the freaking prosecutor's office, trying to figure out what we've got. Okay. So at this point, Chris, you're being placed under arrest for conspiracy to commit drive-by shooting and conspiracy to commit reckless endangerment and drive-by shooting.
Cool.
Okay. Do you have any questions of us?
Even though so if you're in the car and the car is running, if you're not in motion, it's still.
If you fire, so the law says, even if so, we'll use this as an example. You get in a car, you drive to an intersection in Tacoma, you get out, you shoot up a gangbanger's house, you get in your car and you drive away. That's drive-by shooting because you used a vehicle to facilitate getting you there and immediately flight thereafter.
Okay.
The drive-by shooting is originally thought as, car rolls up, windows down, shots fired. But in this case, because it was fired from a vehicle, that creates a drive-by shooting. The car doesn't have to be in motion, it just has to be from a vehicle. We're going to have to bring your sister in and talk to her. Okay. And she's looking at the potential for the same charges.
Are you going to bring her in? When you make contact, you're going to cover.
I don't want to.
I hope you don't, because that's going to, yeah. Like I said, she's very immature.
Okay. What are we going to tell your parents?
Oh, I don't know. That's going to be a good one.
You haven't told them anything about this.
They know nothing about it. They're going to be fucking blindsided.
Okay. When did it get to the point where this was the only option?
I've had it in the back of my head for a while, just because it seems like whenever we would bring anything up, nothing. And then the whole COVID vaccine thing. And then finally it was that investigation.
That was the straw.
Yeah. It just like, how that was handled was just such utter bullshit. And I knew how this would be handled they would drop the ball as well.
Why? What do you mean they would drop the ball?
So Friday they didn't. They closed the office down. Saturday or Monday they had it open. They couldn't be there till 8 o'clock in the morning. They had CISM there, which is like their emotional support.
Stress.
They had them there. They had all the big wigs there at 8:30. They didn't debrief with the office at all. They didn't do anything. They didn't talk to like the individual officers. Before all of a sudden everyone was there. Tuesday came and mind you that Monday half people don't work, and then Tuesday there was nobody at the office whatsoever. And when they showed up to the office on Monday, the uppers were all in the offices with the doors closed, and they stayed in there, didn't talk to anybody, and it was all lip service, just so they could check off a box. So I mean, I knew that would happen, knew it would. So, yeah, just with that investigation, how that was handled, how he told me that, business as usual. How? Didn't sleep for 3 nights. I didn't even know what it was.
Right. And then when did you hear Courtney's name involved with it? Or did you think that could have anything to do with it?
I heard it from Detective Washington.
Okay.
When they came in at the hospital in Steep Valley and were asking me about it. Because when they came and started asking me about it too, they thought that I knew more than I did. And they thought that I was given more information initially. No, I wasn't given a damn thing.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you thought this was your only option.
Well, it wasn't. This just seemed like the best one.
But
And it wasn't.
it can also be the sign of a system that's failing. But you have to...
Yeah, there's different avenues to go up it, though.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I felt our union fought and they came out and they took this big giant win for us. They got us a 3% raise and an extra day off a year. Well, just for this year. And for that COVID thing. Whatever.
So, one of the things that is going to have to happen, we're going to have to put handcuffs on you.
Mhm.
But I don't have any reason to do that. You've been more than cooperative. We will cuff you in front. We will cover the handcuffs with your coat. And you go in. So this is not a parade.
Where am I going?
You're going to go across the street to the jail.
Mhm.
To county. Okay. Do you have any questions of us before we get out of here?
No. Will I be booked and released?
No, it will not be a book and release. You will have the opportunity for bail. The judge will make the ruling on PC, but it's a felony. Can the judge release you? Yes, but this is not a situation. This is not a case where we don't do books and releases anymore because of all this bullshit. Not just because of COVID, but because of booking restrictions. They got rid of our ability to admin book people a couple of years ago. So.
So what about my bandages? And then also what about me being a parole officer being in jail?
So that's a consideration. That's something that we're going to deal with. We will get in touch with our chief of the jail, and we might make arrangements. If they're going to keep you in custody, might make arrangements. It's not untypical to have you housed elsewhere where you're not known, because certainly you would have safety concerns. You would definitely go into protective custody here. You would not be put into general population. I don't work in the jail. I can't see that happening because people you supervise are probably in that jail.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to recognize you and see you and those even. So, I wish I had a perfect answer for you.
Oh, well. What about my car? Is my car safe where it is?
Your car's fine. We'll get in touch. We're going to have to go talk to your parents. And where are your keys at?
Pocket. No.
Go ahead. Let's do this. Take everything out of your pockets and lay it up here. I know they've already taken your firearm and your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, medically, what are you on any...
I'm on a ton of medication.
Okay.
I'm on...
Where is all that at?
All of them. I'm on.
But where at home?
In my bigger.
Okay.
Like a to-go bag.
Are they... Okay, so somebody can go in there, scoop that, and take it to the jail and you'll have it. Because I'm sure you've got... Oh, I can't think of the term for it right now, but yeah.
What?
The type of medication. Yeah, my mind is blank right now. I'm hungry. And sometimes
I'm eating today.
So, is there anything else on you?
Mm-mm.
No knives, nothing like that. Okay. Dude, I'm sorry that it came to this.
It's fine. I made the choice. Hopefully something good will come out of it.
I hope so, and I'm just sorry that you felt you had to go to this extreme.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
So, all right, go ahead, do me a favor. Leave that. So you are under arrest. You have the right to an attorney. Understand that?
Mm-hmm.
didn't lock. I've got my keys in my office, so a patrol deputy will take you over there. Okay. Where did your coat end up that you had on?
I don't know. You do.
Okay. So all of this will load up. You want your parents to take your car?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can take this and turn this over to them. Do you have any issues with that at all? Or would you rather have them come down to the jail and get it out of your property?
No, you can give that to him.
Okay. So, because we're going to have to go out and get the gun.
Mhm.
So you said it's a Smith & Wesson Sigma.
On top of the gun safe in my bed.
Top of the gun safe in your bedroom?
My parents.
Your parents' bedroom. Okay. All right. Just one thing, and I just remembered that we still have the recording going. Chris, is everything you told me today the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Okay. At any time since we started the recording, have we turned it off?
No.
Is there anything you want to add to your statement?
Not this time.
Sign there. Do you certify or declare under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that your statement's true and correct and it's been made freely, voluntarily, without threats or promises of any kind?
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Flo was sentenced to just over a year in prison and another 1.5 years of home detention. Just a slap on the wrist for another bad liar. Like this guy. Click here.